I want us to just briefly look at the enemy I call ignorance. Somebody say ignorance.
Ignorance.
Can I hear you mention it very loud?
Ignorance.
Now, I'm speaking out of experience. See, a lot of us, where we are today, that we don't advance, that we are not achieving anything, that we are not making any move at all, that is all because we are lacking certain knowledge. Agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Today you have learned how to make bleach. Am I correct?
Yes.
Do you know how to make it before?
No, sir.
Bleach. But did you see how simple it was?
Yes.
Very simple. You can even ask your last born to help you just prepare bleach. When you pick a bottle of Jik or what other brand we have in the market, Hypo, you respect and honor it. You most time you beat your children. Why did you pour that Jik Hypo? You think that it was collected from heaven. Do you know what another problem I have now? Even as they have shown you how to make that bleach, you are even doubting, is it, or are you sure that this is the bleach? You are still even doubting. Now, what I'm just trying to stress is that ignorance is one of our greatest problems. When I had this assignment, when I was given this assignment, one of the scriptures that was highlighted for me was Luke chapter 1 verse 74. Being delivered, 74 and 75, being delivered out of the hands of their enemies, they can now serve God without fear, in holiness and righteousness all the days of their life. And I turned a question and I said, who are these enemies? Expecting to hear that the enemy is Mama Nkechi, that the enemy is Papa Boy, that the enemy is federal government, that the enemy is president, the enemy is governor. He said, no, that number one enemy that I need to deal with, if I want to live where I am now, to where he wants me to be, is the enemy called ignorance. Ignorance. In one of our badges here, I was asking the trainees to help me define the word ignorance in their own dialect or in their own language. An Igbo girl told me that ignorance means actually my head. While others were defining it like Amayi, she said no, it's actually my head. You don't want to know. That is the definition of ignorance. You don't want to what? No. This opportunity was given to every youth and women in this environment. Is it not true? How many are we here? What is acting on those people? They don't want to do what? No. Hello? Now, how do I fight ignorance? Let me just go straight to the point. How do I deal with ignorance? Now, the basic tool to deal with ignorance, or rather, the only tool I think I know I want to share with you is knowledge. Somebody say knowledge.
Knowledge.
Can I hear you say it very loud? Say knowledge.
Knowledge.
Can you write it down? Say knowledge.
Knowledge.
What you need to deal with ignorance is knowledge. What you are gleaning here, what you are gathering here, is it not knowledge?
Yes.
You are still, hold down the name again. Chinaza, when you were born 30 years, 40, 50 years ago, they named you what? Chinaza. You have never answered any other name. It has all this while, Chinaza. What changed in your life is not your name. It's not even the school you went to that basically mattered. What mattered was the knowledge you acquired at every point in time. They established a newer versions of value. And as those values keep increasing, it keeps attracting persons and personalities. Don't forget this. The last time I said something, I think on Saturday, I told you something about value. Hello, value. Can somebody mention that word, value? Value. That is what attracts people to you. It is not your gift. They've been seeing beautiful people. In case you don't know, the beautiful ones are not yet what? No. I saw your father this morning carrying a baby, and somebody said, "This baby is more beautiful than you." I said before, Uncle, beautiful ones are not yet. So it's not about beauty. What determines the audience that follows you? Everybody is entitled to audience, entitled to people, entitled to a certain number of persons to follow them. If at least 5 of you in the family, your wife, your children, they should follow you. There must be somebody to follow you. But I was surprised, even my last born for now has followers. Others are, we all are even following her in the house because she's giving us command. So everybody has some, but what determines the people, the number of persons that will follow you is the value you offer, the value you bring to the table. My sister, you are looking for a husband. When the young man comes, what value do you bring to the table? When you sit down on the table to talk, tell me the value you have to bring to say, this is what I have to offer, and this is what I'm going to work on in this relationship. Nothing. And you keep going back to blame God. Stop blaming God. He told me that the problem is ignorance. Now, straight to the point, knowledge. I need knowledge to deal with ignorance. Now, the word knowledge looks so cumbersome, humongous. Let me break it down. Knowledge about what? Number one, knowledge about my maker. Hello? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Knowledge about what?
My maker.
If you want to be positioned very, my effort is to make sure that all of us are positioned very well to become the CEOs we are looking out for. You've been praying, I want to be like Dan, but I want to be like Adeno. Oh Lord, if they pray such prayer in the church, whether the person that is praying it or not is correct, you will say amen, because you've been hearing about one Dan. But the means of getting to such heights, the means of actually being a CEO, you've not put it in place. There are things you put in place before the journey begins. First thing is the knowledge about who? Your maker. He didn't fall from the moon. What did I say? He didn't fall from the moon. And when I'm talking about your maker, I mean your maker. There is someone I believe. Oh, I see that. I said, even if they say there is no God, I said, Daddy, there is a God, and you are that God that created me. I can't just be a happenstance. I can't just be. How do I put it? No. There is a God that is in charge of the affairs of life. When science tells us of the 9 planets, they're even saying they have discovered about 2 or 3 more now. Talks about the planets, talk about the earth, talk about as we are here now, the earth is moving. Am I right? They say it's making how many kind of movements at the same time? Rotation and what? Revolution at the same time. And you are not shaking. And you are telling me there is no God. No, I disagree with you. There is a God. So the first thing is to, first of all, look down, find out who is my maker. That's the first knowledge. You access into that knowledge will now give you access to the second knowing. And that knowing is what is your make? What did he make me for? What did he use in fashioning me? I always like to use the vehicles that these automobile companies build. For instance, we have Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes has truck. Mercedes has bus. Okay, Mercedes has Jeep. Am I right? Saloon cars. I don't even know whether they have motorcycle. All these things are vehicles, but they have different purposes and capacities and what they can do. You don't carry the load meant for the truck and put it on salon. Hello? If you use the salon the way it's meant to be used, that salon will last forever. Mercedes is one of the strongest car, or the strongest car I've even seen. It will last virtually forever. But when you now, not knowing that you are salon, you start eyeing the boss, somebody that was meant to be a boss, and you start envying that person, and you now want to serve the purpose of a bus that carries 18 passengers. Will you last? You may not, even if you ever achieve that purpose, you will not last. If you are a truck that is meant to carry load and you start carrying human beings, will people enter you? Who wants to enter truck to start traveling? If not yam or cow or whatever. Are you getting my point? So what is your make? These things will help you. To help you. As you are sitting down in your classroom studying, it will help you. You know where you are going. Look at my makeup. These people can go to party. Me, I'm not supposed to be there because this is where I'm going. Look at what I was made for. It will guide you. To guide you over so many things. And then the third knowing is your make. Things that has to do with hard skills. Things that your hands are meant to make, to be doing, to fulfill your make, and also to serve your maker. Hear what I said now?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm speaking big English in the song. Do I need to bring it down? Leave that up. Please understand it. 3 things to deal with ignorance. Some of us, when you want to deal with that ignorance, the first thing you do, you rush straight to your making. If I ask you, there are some of you that have learned 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different skills. Only huge here, we've not been doing anything with it. It has never profited you. Do you know why? You don't even know your make. And if you don't know of course, you don't know your maker. Well, somebody will ask me, how do I know my make? One of the ways, there are 2 basic ways of finding your make. Number 1 is to know your maker, because your maker will tell you your make. You buy an LG carton television, for instance. Now inside that carton you have a paper, and what's the name of that paper? Manual. Tells you what and what. So if you must know your make, the first thing you need to know first is your what? Maker. It will tell you now your make. Second way of knowing your make is the burden in your heart. Elohim will place a burden in your heart. Anything you see that disturbs you, like something you look at it, you don't want it, you don't like seeing that thing, a problem you always want to solve. Now it's your making that will help you to fulfill your make. I hope you are even getting what I'm saying. Your make is not you being a medical doctor, it's your making that is being a medical doctor. But there are medical doctors that understood their make. And as medical doctors, they are fulfilling their make, what they were made to be. Beyond their medical field, they are doing what was encapsulated in their being by God. Did you hear me? May the Lord bless this wisdom in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right, I will stop here. Please. This training is going to run for 3 weeks.